So Brian Cashman is already talking to the media as all of the GMs are meeting up and having their meetings. And basically, so far, I wanted to break down what exactly Brian Cashman is saying about the Yankees and about their future plans. As always, he's always kind of broad and he's not going to spill the beans, but I thought it was interesting to kind of break it down, take a listen to what he actually had to say, and all of that good stuff. So let's get into it.
Have you touched base at all with the Judge's camp?
No comment.
Is that one of your couldn't say, wouldn't say?
No, that we're early, so just to say that. I'll use that a little later in the interview.
Here he talks about Judge, and basically no comment so much so on Judge, as it's going to be a negotiation, and it's very early on, so he's not going to say much about Judge at this point.
How big a fish he is in the market, do you have a sense it's going to take some time for him to sense this marketplace before he's ready to get into more detailed talks?
It's hard for me. I'm not on that side of the fence.
No, but given your experience with big fish.
I mean, things usually work slow, but I don't know. I mean, every circumstance is unique and different. So you just saw the Mets secure their free agent closer and retain him. So, again, every individual situation is different. So, but generally, yes, it usually, takes some time.
Is that something that you want to get resolved as soon as possible, given how much it would take if you do re-sign him to then pivot, whether you are getting him or not, in terms of figuring out the rest of your offseason?
Optimally, if you could wave a magic wand, we would secure, Aaron Judge and retain him and have him signed, and happy in the fold as soon as possible. But as I said at my presser back in New York, that he's a free agent. He's earned the right to be a free agent. So he'll dictate the dance steps.
When it comes to Judge, they'll be ready to move on if needed, and that's what they're doing. They got to prepare as if they don't have a right fielder, and same for left field.
So then is he priority 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you know what I mean? Or do you start already planning out what you would do if you don't re-sign him, I guess, other things you could do?
Ultimately, we've gone through our pro scouting meetings, so we've completed those, and now we'll start reaching out to, the agents and getting, some of their medical information that help us start compiling information for ourselves about, how that board would look for us, and then engage the various, teams now and find out what opportunities exist from trade stuff as well, and then we'll just kind of react how the winter directs us from conversations both with agents as well as clubs.
No update on Cashman's contract, and it seems like Cashman is definitely here to stay, especially if he's already working for free, betting that he's going to, get the next contract. So no real surprise there. From what we learned from the New York press conference, we know that Cashman's basically done this every year when his contract's up. Hal and him, they're going to talk about it, and it'll come later on, the contract that they'll agree on. When it comes to Hal's spending and what's the budget for the Yankees going into next season, there is no firm amount. Hal is definitely going to spend a good amount, as he does each and every year, being in the top 3 in budgets in all of MLB.
What are your biggest areas of need in this roster?
Well, obviously, currently we don't have a right fielder, we don't have a left fielder. Always like to improve the pitching, and I stated in my New York press conference that we have some kids pushing in on the infield, so there'll be I would think probably going to be a lot of exciting opportunities that could play out next spring in the middle infield category, but we got to wait and see how all conversations go. When you start talking trades with clubs, you start talking to the agents and free agents, and you get a better, clearer picture of options that exist that you weren't thinking of early on. So we're certainly going to approach everything with a very open mind. Even if it means we have something already existing in that position or something anticipated to be in that position, versus the simplistic, hey, here's a vacancy here, we need to attack this area. So we're going to be hopefully nimble and be able to bounce all over as our conversations take us.
Areas to improve based on Cashman: right field, left field, and of course, you always got to add some starting pitchers. Cashman says that it's going to be a competition for shortstop, that definitely they're not going to rule out anything going forward when it comes to possibly acquiring a free agent shortstop this offseason, as there are plenty of options this offseason. Yet they're going to look at also internally, and they're going to have a competition, whether that's Peraza, Volpe, Cabrera. You got a lot of options.
Having the internal options at shortstop, though, does that kind of take you out of the free agent market at short? Are you still open-minded about it? Like a year ago, we were talking about some big names potentially for your shortstop.
Yeah, I can't say that's the case because, again, I think we're going to be open-minded. There could be a lot of conversations that lead us down paths we wouldn't have expected. And so I'm not saying we would trade any of our kids, but I'm not saying that, it just depends how things play out. There's obviously a lot of great talented players that, are available in the marketplace via trade and free agency, some of which play positions that we, already have placeholders for or look forward to people taking a hold of it. But at this time of year, I think you just have to stay flexible and open-minded to make sure that you evaluate all real opportunities and how it could possibly fit.
Brent, do you need an upgraded shortstop?
Do we need an upgraded shortstop?
I'm asking
I think we have people that can handle the position, and I think we have people pushing up that want an opportunity to prove, that they're ready for the next step.
At the end of the day, he thinks Volpe is ready, but it comes down to competition. Who's going to actually prove that they're ready for the position? I mean, he thinks he could possibly be ready for next season, which is really exciting to think of. Imagine Volpe being out there beating out everyone else, and we finally have our new shortstop in the sense of someone that is solidifying that future position where we don't have to worry about it. That's pretty exciting to me. I mean, also, I wouldn't be opposed to getting a proven shortstop and maybe having Volpe go to a different position, whether that's third or second or whatever the case may be. But, I mean, it is exciting to think about Volpe coming in and filling in that position. That would be pretty awesome.
So, obviously, we had a shortstop in kind of Falefa that helped us win 99 games last year with the crew we had assembled last year and win the American League East, which was second to none in terms of division. So, so I think that, we have coverage already, and now it's just exploring, like every position, can we be better? Is there better options? Whether it's at shortstop or any other position on the field, as well as in the rotation in the bullpen. So Volpe, along with Peraza and Cabrera, those guys will be expected to be in spring training and competing for, everyday reps with, everybody else that's still standing. So that's the nature of the beast, and, we'll gravitate to those who look like they could be the best version for us moving forward, or we'll evaluate it in a way that somebody might need more time, and hopefully everybody stays healthy. So we'll see. But he's done everything he needs to do to push himself into the opportunity, and see where it takes him.
And not to mention IKF is also there, which he talked about and said, he's happy IKF is there, and he's the shortstop that got us to that 99 wins. And so that's Cashman. I mean, they're not going to speak down on their players, right? Especially if they're going to be trading them and all that stuff. He has to say some good stuff about him, right?
Love to sign Anthony Rizzo back, if possible. He's exercised his opt-out. So, we'll stay in touch with him as well as the rest of the marketplace.
They definitely want to get Rizzo back, so that's a no-doubter. But they're going to start making some, contract talks.
We'll stay in touch with him as well as the rest of the marketplace. Obviously, so we clearly have a vacancy now at first base. So, preference would be to retain the player we know and like, but ultimately there's, you have to explore all options, trade versus free agency as well, and I'll gather as much of that information as I can to factor it in and share with our group as well as ownership.
And basically, Cashman just had some final comments here and there.
Cutting down on the strikeouts, maybe improving contact. I know it had been a point of emphasis before, but is that something you want to continue to do?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely was a point of emphasis, and that's what led us to re-signing Rizzo last year. High contact rate. We already had that in DJ LeMahieu, we signed 2 years earlier, and then we traded for Andrew Benintendi, one of the better ones also in the game at that category. And so it's definitely a point of emphasis. Unfortunately, we lost LeMahieu, we lost Benintendi, so two of our better contact guys went out as we entered the postseason and couldn't get them back. So that certainly allowed us not to be the best version of ourselves in that category. We'll definitely still try to deal with that and improve on that. It's an area of weakness. We certainly struck out way too much, in the postseason, but it's also a byproduct of losing some people that would have prevented that if they were healthy. So
Cashman definitely wasn't going to say too much. He's negotiating. He's out there talking with other GMs, seeing what he can do to improve the Yankees. And so, I mean, that's Cashman, right? But I would be interested to see what you guys think down below. Cashman, is he doing a good job? Are we liking the guy? Are you inspired by his words of wisdom that you just heard?
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.